Hello everybody, it's Tim here again, here with another video. I'm a little late on this one. This one is for Conjuring the Nun. You know why they call them nuns? Because they don't get none. But anyway, in all seriousness, this is for the Conjuring spinoff, The Nun, which I just recently saw. It's really late, so I'm like really haggard right now. But I just recently watched The Nun. Now, I did the reviews for the other Conjuring movies. If you want to watch those reviews, just simply go back and check them out. But as far as if you want like a brief summary on my opinion on those, the first Conjuring I think is great. I don't think it's like classic material, but I think it's a great like haunted house possession flick. Conjuring 2 I thought was pretty good. Annabelle I thought was just barely passable. That one sucked. Annabelle Creation I actually thought was good. It's not great, but it was good. That brings us to The Nun. The Nun now is a spinoff of the Nun demon from Conjuring 2, who's named Valak. Pretty much find out here that this dude back in the Crusades summoned the demon and it took on the form of a nun. And it's been trapped in this place with all these other nuns. And it kills them all. And this priest and his assistant nun, who's not a nun yet, but hasn't taken her vows yet. And they kind of give an interesting arc with her. I mean, interesting character idea. They don't really do a good job with the arc, but they do an interesting character idea where it's like, she's talking about like dinosaurs and stuff like that in the Catholic, church, and Catholics are stereotyped as being like, I don't know if it's really true about how Catholics are, but it's like really stereotyped how like Catholics, or at least hardcore Catholics, are like very extreme in tradition and everything, and are, well, really extreme in the fact that they don't want like any kind of outside thinking. You have to be like really obedient and not question anything in order to be like a nun, pretty much. So that's interesting, and the fact that she's talking about dinosaurs and like the other nun is like totally against it and tells them that dinosaurs aren't real is weird. But yeah, you get that as like a character setup. Through the movie they kind of hint that she might not want to be a nun, or she might be, not so much she doesn't want to be a nun, but that she's kind of just like, questioning it. Is this really what I want to do with my life? But they don't delve into it, and they bring it up in maybe like one scene, and it's totally dropped until like the end where she's like, all at once, I want to take my vows, and they expect it to be like this big epic moment in the movie, but it doesn't work because they didn't build up to it except just 1-2 minute scene. So there's no payoff. It doesn't work. The girl who plays the nun chick in here, who's the hero who has psychic vision, she is actually the younger sister of Vera Farmiga from the Conjuring movies, who played Lorraine Warren or whatever. As far as like the Conjuring movies go, none of these are true stories to me. These are all baloney. But yeah, and she does a good job. Very cute girl, and she does a good job. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. The acting in this film is good. Nobody in this film is bad. I didn't think so. Nobody in this film is bad, and honestly, the performances are probably worthy of a better script. This is the script that just lets these people down. This movie is lame. Another problem is the nun spends most of the time like off screen. You don't even see the nun, and when they get there, there's like this demonic sounding nun. He's like, "You should probably leave, but if you have to stay, over here." It's like, okay, if that was me, like as the priest, I'd be like, throwing holy water automatically, like right there. But yeah, of course you find out at the end that's the demon in disguise, and you do get some fun little scares in the film. Like, and the guy, this one guy who takes him there, his name is Frenchie, and he's kind of really wimpy or whatever, but he stands up for himself and decides to help him out, which is pretty cool. But you do get some cool little scares, like when the French dude goes outside or whatever and he's heading back home. He sees a nun like walking around and creeping him out, but he actually starts following it, and it's like this really freaky looking nun in the middle of the night and all this fog. I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of there. That's just me. But you have a funny scene where he like chases after him and he falls backwards in the cemetery and he can't come around the crosses pretty much, and he picks up like one of the crosses and he's like, I'm taking this with me. That was pretty funny. Some of the humor hits good here with the French guy, and some of the humor doesn't. Like later on when you see him at a bar and he's still got the cross with him, you're just supposed to kind of like get a little chuckle out of it, but it was just a little too silly for me. But most of the humor hits with him. At the end of it, when the demon's like got the dude cornered and it's going to shoot him, it's actually going to shoot him. It's got a gun, which is pretty funny. It took his firearm, and he's like, I'm French Canadian, and he knocks the demon back. That was pretty funny. One other problem is I never, like, the nun creature in Conjuring 2 didn't, like, blow me away. Like, I was more interested in the Crooked Man, just because I'm a Tim Burton fan. It was more of a Tim Burton character. Like, the nun, the more you see of it, and I guess that's why they hit it, but the more you, I guess that's why they kept it off screen so much in the movie, because the more you see of the nun is the more ridiculous it looks. Just to see like this demonic nun flying in a nun suit at you, like, ah! It looks kind of silly. One thing though is like the main girl or whatever who's wanting to become a nun. They got these other nuns there who do like a straight prayer, 24/7 prayer channel to keep the evil locked inside the place. And you find at the end they're ghosts. These are the ghosts of all the dead nuns. That was kind of cool. And when the main chick starts praying, like the evil demon is like whipping her in the back trying to stop her, but she won't give in. That was cool. You find out the creature can be killed by they got like Jesus Christ's blood at this place, and they're looking for it at the end. The girl finds it and she's like being drowned in the water. She pours it in her mouth. Kind of reminds me of the ending of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, where they put Jesus' blood in their mouth. Jada Pinkett Smith does, and spits it in Billy Zane's face. Here she does it. She gets pulled up out of the water. You know it's coming, but it's still a pretty cool shot where she like spits it out into her face, and the nun like evaporates, you know, and kind of a neat special effect. But the problem with the movie is they have to link it up with Conjuring 1, and at the end of the flick, you find out the French guy's now magically possessed. But they try to make you think that the reason he got possessed is when the nun was like holding him up in one scene, but the nun was still the demon nun. Like, how can it possess the dude and still be itself? Like, wouldn't it be in his body? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it makes no sense. And you find out the French dude is the dude that Vera Farmiga was like trying to did an exorcism on in the original Conjuring in the videotape that they show, and that's when she first saw the nun Valak. But it doesn't work because the twist at the end with him being possessed doesn't mesh with what was happening in the flick. It doesn't work. This is starting to become like a problem when you get with shared universes, where they make so many movies and then eventually they gotta connect all the dots and it just starts to collapse in on itself. But yeah, it doesn't work. All in all, I'll give this a 1 out of 4. It's lame. It's not even so much that it sucks. It just wastes so much potential. It's just lame. Is it the worst movie I've ever seen? No. Is it the worst Conjuring flick? Yes. Because this movie has potential. It's well directed. There's some good, like, the look of the film is good. And every now and then you get kind of a little creepy little shot. But then it just gets so silly with the flying nun. It's just really cheesy. And just the ending twist is stupid. It makes no sense. There's no sense to it. All in all, it's a 1-star flick. This is a waste of time, this movie is. This feels like a movie that should have been more, but was either watered down, or they just like, or there's a really much better, sorry about that, there's a really much better like director's cut out there. But this was really lame, and I'll see you guys again with the next review.